Since the explosive allegations in a security report last week that some MPs in Canada right now, sitting members of parliament, unwittingly participated in foreign interference and with foreign actors, the question on most of our minds are, who are these people? Are they traitors to our country? Hello, I'm Adrienne Batra. With me are Warren Kinsella and Brian Lilley. So, Brian, Elizabeth May, leader of the Green Party, has seen an unredacted version of this NSICOP report. She claims that she has no qualms whatsoever now, that she can comfortably sit in the House with her colleagues, not concerned at all that any of them have betrayed our country or have committed any act of treason. So why is it that Elizabeth May, Green Party leader, with all of a few seats, and yet Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the official opposition, likely our next prime minister, has not seen or read the unredacted version? What do you know?
So Poilievre is he would be able to see the report if he wanted to sign away his parliamentary privilege, if he wanted to, which means he would never be able to speak about it in the House of Commons. Right now, MPs are protected, but all the MPs on the NSICOP committee had to sign away their parliamentary privilege, meaning if they say anything about the report that isn't in the public report, any of the redacted information, even if it's by mistake, they can be prosecuted by the full extent of the law for revealing state secrets. Elizabeth May, even when she gave her news conference, kept talking about how she has to be very careful about what she's saying, and she's going to have to rely on notes, which she normally doesn't do. So you're asking the leader of the opposition to read a report that he will never be able to talk about, that he can never act on. I mean, people keep acting as if Poilievre reads this report and it says, well, that guy Warren Kinsella in your caucus was selling state secrets to China, then, if you read it, you can kick Warren Kinsella out. No, if he acts on that information, he's revealing the information and therefore can be charged. It is a ridiculous ploy by the Liberals who've known about this outside of the NSICOP report, who have been able to act on it on a number of different manners and have refused to. It's them trying to make someone else the bad guy. They keep raising the issue of all Pierre has to do is get a security clearance. And the reason they do that is that they know they're true and on base, believes that there's some dark reason that Pierre Poilievre doesn't have his security clearance. They believe that he can't pass a security clearance because of something he or his wife, or I've even seen his father-in-law has done something awful. They're just poking the bear. They're trying to feed their partisan base, and it's a distraction from the real issue that Trudeau's known about a lot of this for 5 years or more and hasn't acted.
Warren, let's just pretend for a moment we had a grown-up government with a serious prime minister, a serious government, cabinet ministers that actually take that role and position seriously, and the issue of national security seriously. The security of our elections is important to them. Let's just pretend for a moment we had that. What should be happening? What should be the reaction of a grown-up government in an instance like this?
Well, firstly, Poilievre's right to take the position he's taking because it's a trap. Like all of us, all three of us have practiced journalism. And we all know when somebody offers to speak to us off the record, it's full of peril for us because whatever we get told by the anonymous source, we're not allowed to use in any way, shape, or form. And that's the same deal that the Liberals, this game that they're playing with Poilievre, is we're going to tell you these things ostensibly, but we're not going to let you talk about them. And there's a good reason for why Poilievre shouldn't do it, because you can, in fact, be prosecuted, right? And like under the old Official Secrets Act, it was a serious offense to be making use of official secrets. So Poilievre is right to do what he's doing. The Trudeau guys are playing a game, but at the end of the day, to answer your most important question, we are entitled to know who are the traitors in Parliament. As our newspaper is editorialized, there can be no more serious charge under the criminal code or ethics or morality than treason. Like, it actually used to be punishable by capital punishment until the 90s. So We need to know who those people are, and the Trudeau guys need to cut out this, frankly, that they're doing, and tell us who the supposed traitors are.
So why such a disconnect then, Brian? I mean, if May is claiming her comfort level is secure now because no current MPs or senators or anybody in Parliament now is on this so-called list, why such a disconnect between what NSICOP report came out last week and that sort of raised, five alarm fire on this?
I've heard from people who think that Elizabeth May is the most honest politician in Parliament, that Elizabeth May has the most integrity. You've never covered Elizabeth May up close then. You've never met her, if that's what you think, or you're drinking the green bathwater. Elizabeth May is not an intelligence expert. You can read that many ways, my last statement there. She goes in and she says, well, there's no list. And then people ask her, well, what about these names? Well, there weren't many names. Okay, but they're describing the actions that Wesley Warwick, who's a security expert, says are nauseating, that people who have led CSIS, like Richard Fadden, have described in awful terms. Now, we all may have a disagreement on whether the name should be public or not. Should the parties deal with it? Look, my view is our democracy is not a private club. Political parties are a private club. Our democracy is not. We as voters deserve to know who has been colluding with foreign governments. And I don't care which party it is.
That's right.
I suspect, based on their actions, that most of this is the Liberal Party of Canada, because they have fought against releasing any of this information. I suspect that some of it is the Conservative Party, some a smaller degree, the NDP, and a smaller degree, the Bloc. But those three parties have at least said, everybody but the Liberals, well, let's get the information out there. And the Liberals have said, oh, no, we can't possibly do that. Well, why wouldn't they want it released? Maybe because there's more Liberal names on the list than anybody else. So, for all the TrueAnon types out there, harp on about your security clearance for Pierre Poilievre all you want. Harp on about claims that India and China may have interfered in the Conservative leadership race. Justin Trudeau can release all that, and I'm happy with that. So is Pierre Poilievre. The person that's not happy with releasing this information is Justin Trudeau. What does that tell you about our Prime Minister?
Warren, last word to you. I've heard a new sort of Liberal talking point is that security and intelligence gathering is not a perfect science, that there is some questions that need to be asked. And we all understand that. You have to act on intelligence as it comes in. Some of it's live, some of it's actionable, whatever. But there seems to be a consistency with what the securities agencies have been saying in Canada, that there have been issues. So that I think that we can all agree upon that. But we now know that the Liberals are going to support a block motion that kicks this basically to the foreign interference inquiry in the commission that just reported just a couple of months ago. Is that good enough? Well, does this just kick the can down the road? Does this silence those that are saying, okay, something's got to be done? What is the consequence of that?
They are trying to kick it down the road. They're trying to delay and obfuscate as much as possible. And the reason is Brian just described. The majority of the names on the list are Liberal names. Like, we have known for more than a year that there were 11 members of Parliament, more than 10 anyway.
11 candidates.
Yeah, 11 candidates rather, apologies, who were on the list. And they were not all Liberals, right? But to their credit, the Conservatives and the NDP and the Bloc have all said, release the names, and that is the right and proper approach to take. The Liberals, by doing this politically, and they've been pilloried in every single newspaper, including the Toronto Star, from coast to coast for taking this position, they look like they're guilty. They look like they're hiding something, you know, by kicking it to Madam Justice Hogue or denying or say we can't name them. They absolutely can name them. It's what is lawyers call a privileged occasion. They can name these people, and then the RCMP Security Service can decide whether they want to prosecute or not. But we, the people, the voters, certainly in the lead up to an election campaign, we need to know whether there are any traitors in Parliament.
Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And go to the TorontoSun.com. You're going to find commentary and coverage there you will not find anywhere else.